The Maximum Happiness and Wellbeing course, Part 1, Session 7. Your core values. What are your values? Why are they so important to your happiness? In this session we identify the core values of importance to you and where they come from. Mahatma Gandhi was once quoted as saying, "Your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your values become your destiny." Your core values. Our values, or perhaps the personal rules we choose to live, influence our emotions and behaviours and impact what we do and say. They embody what we believe is important in every area of our lives. We have values that can be specific for different situations, and they govern our response to external stimuli in these areas, for example, health and relationships. Understanding our own value systems is important. Our values are true values for us, but this doesn't mean that what's important to us will necessarily be important to others. Values are the supporting structural framework for our beliefs and are strongly connected to our identity. Our values control our primary principles and our way of life. They furnish us with direction and motivation to accomplish tasks or challenge situations. So where do our values come from? They're linked to our identity and beliefs and are often developed on an unconscious level. Unconscious values often come from our family, our backgrounds, teachers and peer groups, and are developed and strengthened as we develop and grow. A core value is relevant to all aspects of our lives. When a core value is dishonoured, this can generate stress. For example, a person is under great stress at work. Why personal core values are important? Values are a part of us. They highlight what we stand for and can represent our unique individual essence. Values guide our behaviour, providing us with a personal code of conduct. When we honour our personal values consistently, we experience fulfilment. When we don't, we are incongruent and more likely to be susceptible to bad habits and regress into childish behaviour to uplift ourselves. What matters most? Your values, your guiding principles are what influence your decisions and shape your life and ultimately define you. Our natural human inclination is for our actions and behaviour to be consistent with these deeply held governing values. That's why we experience pain when our actions are inconsistent with our inner value system. It's almost as if we have an inner blueprint that tells us how to behave and react in given situations, and the pain reminds us that we've acted in conflict with these values. Of course, this is fine when we still support and believe the values, that they serve our best interests, but many of the values become outdated, like the beliefs that we've talked about, and they're not indeed our values but those that we've accepted as being right for us because they were right for our parents or for others. It becomes essential to define the core values that serve us best. People often experience great stress because they fail to identify the core values that mean most to them. They punish themselves for sins and transgressions that no longer contravene their real values and belief systems. If they had only identified them. Whilst we may be grateful or ungrateful for the influence others may have had, imposing or implanting their values upon us, the ultimate responsibility rests with you to determine which values from your foundation are really valuable to you and which are not. A detailed exercise follows which will help you determine your core values. Before starting, reflect on key times in your life when you've made choices and decisions that were influenced by your conduct, actions, or the behaviours of others. How much of your life today has been formed by the influence, and how much is your own? Identifying your true core values is important to move forward with your life for the authentic you. It's time to be ruthless about the values that are not yours, that no longer serve you. By the same token, it's time to appreciate the values that are really important to you and will continue to serve you well on your journey. If you were to ask someone what they want most from life, they might say something like a £500,000 house, or a top-of-the-range Mercedes, or a kind, understanding, sensitive, compassionate and considerate partner. These are wants, they're not values. In these examples, it would be important to ask, if you got the house, Mercedes or the ideal partner, what would you gain and how would that make you feel? The answers might sound like this. With a £500,000 house, I'd gain the respect of my friends and I would feel proud. In this instance, respect and pride are the values that underpin the goal. For the second example, you might ask, if you got the Mercedes, what would you gain and how would it make you feel? The answer might be, I'd be seen as successful and it would make me feel accomplished. This time the values identified are success and accomplishment. Finally, we might ask, suppose you got that ideal partner, what would you gain and how would it make you feel? The answer might be, I would feel loved and understood for who I am. The values identified here are love and understanding. It's invaluable and essential to elicit your core values before putting your heart and soul behind any goals that you want in life. This is why some outwardly successful people remain discontented. With all the trappings of success and happiness, it's only when they've identified their core values that they realise the goals they set out to accomplish might never bring them the satisfaction because they weren't aligned with their values. The importance of values-based goals. Achieving a goal will give you true fulfillment only if it is congruent with your values. You must establish your hierarchy of values before setting goals in your life's relevant areas. Any goal-setting program based on something other than your core values will be flawed from the outset. Establishing core values is your first essential step before goal setting. Don't even think of setting goals for yourself until you've identified the values that are important to you. To do otherwise will waste so much of your time and create so much disappointment when you realise the goals that you set weren't based on the values that underpinned what you really want. As an example, imagine a salesperson who prioritises their family and health as their top values. They aim to become the top salesperson in their field and earn an annual income of £200,000. However, to achieve this goal, they must travel for 10 months of the year, work 14-hour days, eat fast food for lunch, and have business dinners with clients in the evening. This routine leaves them with little time to spend with their family and leads to an unhealthy diet. At home, they spend time playing golf with the managing director, but otherwise they either sleep or watch TV. This creates a conflict between their personal values and their professional ambitions. Stephen Covey's quote of climbing to the top of the ladder of success, then realising it's leaning against the wrong wall, springs to mind. Before setting out on the exercise to elicit our core values, there's a quotation that I'd like to give you that hopefully will help you to understand the importance of values. You must intensely desire that which you seek, because you will attract to you that which you love. It's impossible to desire something strongly that is not congruent with your basic values in life, as you cannot love what you do not value. Discovering your personal core values. Most of us don't know our values. We don't understand what's most important to us. Instead, we focus on what society, culture and media express as important values to have. Can you articulate your top 5 to 10 values that are most important to you? Without undergoing a discovery process, it's challenging to identify your personal core values. It's easy to speculate and idealise what you should value. Knowing and accepting what you value takes effort but it's absolutely worth the time spent. You can do the following process without the need of a qualified coach by referring to the course notes that are provided with the course. You can do it on your own if you apply self-honesty, patience and determination. Ready? Okay, take out your notepad or a note-taking application and let's get started. On the pages of the course notes that follow, there are 3 steps to identifying distinct and meaningful core values that will serve you in every area of your life and work. Within the course notes you'll find some examples of values, quite a few examples of values as prompts that will serve as prompts for you. So step 1 is to select the 10 values from the list that are most important to you in life. Which ones resonate with you? Which ones can you not be without? Step 2, what we need to do then is to compare the values of the 10 that we've chosen against each other, to put them into a priority order, an order of importance if you like, a hierarchy of importance. Step 3, to elicit your core values in your life roles and your key areas. So let's do this. So, transformational exercise number 6, core values, elicitation and hierarchy. Step 1. From the suggested values contained in the course notes, select the 10 values that resonate most and are most important to you in life. From the suggested list of values, circle the 10 that matter most to you. Look for the 10 that have the biggest overall impact on your happiness and satisfaction in life. As you look at the list, consider how each value makes you feel and the joy that you experience when living by that value. Values have been inserted in the table in the example in the notes as an example. The list isn't exhaustive and should only serve as a prompt. If you know with certainty some or all of your core values that don't appear in the list, enter them and feel free to add any others that are not there. Step 2. Having listed the 10 values from the list that resonate most strongly with you and are most meaningful to you, compare those values against each other in order to prioritise them and put them in order of importance. Compare each numbered value in the manner explained within the course notes. A simple means of comparing the 10 values against each other is explained within the notes, and this ultimately, if you do it correctly, produces a hierarchy of values. So you end up with 10 values in the order of which is most important to you. Once you've taken the time and effort to identify and prioritise the important core values in your life, I can promise you that the exercise will prove its worth repeatedly. Having identified and prioritised your 10 core values in order, you're now the proud owner of your own hierarchy of values. If you follow the process, trust it, it works. If you skip the process and want the easy way to prioritise your 10 values, refer to the notes again, because there is a very simple way of comparing the 10 values against one another to come up with your hierarchy of values. The hierarchy of values that you have created at the conclusion of this exercise are so important. They should be congruent with any goals that you set in the future. Goals that aren't aligned with your core values may create an uncomfortable sense of anxiety. You're aiming for something that you thought you wanted but weren't congruent or supported by your values. You'll be aware, subconsciously or otherwise, that you're pursuing a goal that doesn't align with the values that mean most to you. Such is the importance of the core values in life. A concluding word about values. Values and beliefs are fundamental to the setting of goals. When looking for our true values, the questions that you ask yourself might include: what's important to you? What is your goal? What's important about this goal? What do I value or treasure about this goal? What meaning does this goal have for me? And most importantly, how would achieving this goal make me feel? That's where the value comes from. Values measure the meaning life holds for us. Wanting a family, for example, is a goal. A wonderful goal, but it's a goal, not a value. To arrive at the value, we must ask the above questions. If wanting a family will bring you love and a sense of belonging, then love and belonging are the core values behind that goal. After working through this exercise and following the guidelines in the course notes, you may be surprised to discover that your number one core value isn't the one you thought it was.